you get a blow dryer, and you get a blow dryer. Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about blow dry styling. And there's actually a lot in the components of doing a good blow dry style, and incorporating the round brush is what we're going to be talking about today. How to dry that hair properly to the right percentage before actually using the round brush. Now this is what I used to tell students. A good blow dry style really should last between 3 to 5 days. And what's the key to that? The key to that lasting is getting the hair dry. So many of us are in a hurry in these days, and you're trying to hurry up and get your client out of the chair. And don't get me wrong, because timing is very important, but you don't want that client to feel like they're just being rushed for their money. And then next, you want them to have a good experience when they're sitting in your chair. So drying is important, and I feel like this, the more that you practice doing something the proper way, the faster you'll actually get with it. And so when I'm teaching and training, the goal is to get you to be sufficient and efficient first. And the more you practice that, you'll notice the faster you're actually getting with that efficiency. So then you end up being fast and good without rushing someone out of your chair, and then their hair is still damp in the root. So by the time she gets in the car, she has this beautiful looking style that you did with the round brush. But when she runs her fingers through, her roots are cold, which any sign of coolness when you're blow dry styling actually means the hair is still damp, and you don't want that. So one key thing when you're blow dry styling is making sure you have the proper brushes, making sure your subsections are the right size, making sure that you have the direction of your airflow in the blow dryer is going properly. Because when you're drying the hair, a lot of times what I see is this: you're like taking that blow dryer and fanning it everywhere. Well, what are you telling the hair to do? It's kind of like you're working against yourself, because you're telling the hair to go like this, right? And then what does that mean? You have to add more products, and sometimes you have to bump over it with the flat iron because you told the hair to go all like this, and now it's all wild and crazy. And now you're done blow drying and you want to get done. You want it to look smooth, but it doesn't look smooth. And this is part of the reason why. So one of the things when you shampoo and condition the hair while the hair is still damp, when you bring her back to your station or him, you are going to add a heat protectant to the hair while it's damp. And there's different heat protectants out there, and there's also primers out there which you would spray on the hair while it's damp prior to blow drying. And what a primer does, at least the one that I'm familiar with, is it actually keeps the hair straight for at least 72 hours. But that's if you have dried it correct. So yeah, that's what primers are for. But you always want to add some type of heat protectant so you don't end up burning or blistering the hair. And people laugh when I say that, and I never knew that until I took a Redken class, that hair could be blistered. But when you see that hair under the microscope, there's actually a blister on it from where the airflow of the blow dryer was directly placed onto the hair in the brush, and you're scalding that poor hair and it blisters. So once you do that, you should ask your client, where do they part their hair, or where would they like it parted? And that's a key thing. And this is all in my experience in teaching what I've seen. A lot of times I'll see people blow drying in any direction with the brush. So they're blow drying and directing. What they're not understanding is the bonds of the hair. So there's certain bonds in the hair that break down. There's hydrogen bonds that break down with water, right? So we've shampooed, we've conditioned our hair. Those bonds are broken down, and after you're done with that, they're drying into the shape that you're molding that hair. So when you are blow drying the hair, believe it or not, it's what we call dry molding. You are shaping that hair and molding that hair in the direction that you want it to go. So when you part the hair, you would be blow drying it. Let's say if we parted it down the middle, you'd be blow drying each direction this way, to mold that hair. So what does that mean for you? It means when you get into drying with the round brush, or when you go through with your style, that parting's already set there. You've set it there from how you blow dried the hair. Now, if I blow dried it straight back, I've molded the hair to go straight back. So what does that mean for me? It means that if she wants her hair parted down the middle, it's not going to be impossible, but it just makes it a little bit more work to make that hair sit this way, because I molded it to go that way. So I instructed it to go this way, and now I want to work against myself and make it come down. So then what would you see? You would see the hair plumping up because I wanted it to go this way. Now I'm saying, okay, hair, go this way, if that makes sense. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you? Different brushes. So now this is what I want to make clear. Everybody teaches everything differently, and especially here in YouTube University, right? So please be mindful that when I'm showing you a way, it's not the way. It's one way that you could do it. Now, everybody does blow dry styling differently. They use different brushes when they're drying the hair. They want to dry the hair to a different percentage, and it's all good as long as that hair is dry. Then you have a good blow dry style that's going to last. Now, your options when you're drying that hair is a vent brush, a paddle brush, a wet brush. I really love drying with the paddle brush because for some reason paddle brushes just add shine to the hair and gets it really smooth. So that's my favorite. However, I will use a vent brush if needed, and I have used a vent brush. There's nothing wrong with it. And wet brushes. Whatever your preference is, it's up to you. Now, once you do that, now this is how I was taught. You dry the hair 85 to 90% before going in with the round brush. Why is that? Because you want that hair to be mostly straight. And remember, those hydrogen bonds are reforming now because the hair is getting dried, right? And so how do we want those hydrogen bonds to form? We want them to form straight.
Well,
so by the time I go
straight.
through with the round brush, we want those silky, straight curls or volume in the hair that I'm placing with the round brush. So I'm going to dry the hair. I'm going to mold it and dry it in a downward direction, because when you dry it in a downward direction, your cuticles are actually closing. And when your cuticles are closed, that means you have more shine and less frizz. So remember, I'm not going to dry like this in the hair. I'm going to dry downward, right? To close the cuticles, to give that hair more shine and less frizz. So once I do that, now I'm going to demonstrate starting in the back. But I actually was taught to start in the front, in the fringe area. And the reason for that is because all of this hair around here actually dries the fastest. But what I've learned is, doesn't matter where you start. If the hair perchance dried 100% while you're going through with the round brush, all you have to do is lightly mist it with your spray bottle to break those bonds back down, and then you'll be able to mold that curl. Now, one more thing before I actually get started with the demonstration. Your round brushes. How do you determine what size you're going to choose for the round brush styling? Remember this is for curling irons, this is for rollers, this is for perm rods. You choose according to the length of the hair. So if that was on your written test, that would be your answer. Real life, you kind of choose between the length of the hair and what they're looking for in their hair. So in other words, let's say my hair is really short like this, and you're round brushing my hair. Well, you would pick a small round brush, maybe like about that size. However, if I wanted more volume, you would go a size up to give me that bump in my hair. So it wouldn't necessarily be curls in it. So you have to understand those things. But just know, for testing's sake, you always want to choose according to the length of the hair first. Now let's get started. Really quick, I wanted to let you guys know where I'm deriving my information from, not only from experience, but out of the Milady's textbook. You're going to find it on pages 456 through 460 about blow dry styling. And then also about the hydrogen bonds, you will find that on page 228. That's in the Milady's textbook. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Also guys, if you are enjoying the content of these videos and you are really learning from these classes, I would say
click on that subscribe button below and also like my videos.
Be sure to stay tuned guys and click on the next video demonstration. Be sure to stay tuned guys and click on my next video, the demonstration of blow dry styling.